Start by selecting 2D side scroller. Scalable 2D, 3D and mobile selection with no starter content. Start by creating a new level with the default template. Delete the default floor. Make sure player start is set to 0 x-axis and 0 y-axis. Now create a new folder called My Assets. This is good practice to keep things organized. Create several new folders. One new folder called Character. One new folder called Widgets. One new folder called Ground. One new folder called Void. We will start by creating a game over widget. Right-click and select User Interface. Select Widget Blueprint. Add a piece of text and enter Game Over into the text. Remember to anchor to the center. Adjust the font size and color to fit properly. Now add a button, then add a piece of text. The text will say, Restart. Resize the text to better fit the button. Change the color of the text to be easier to see. Resize again. Now click the plus sign. 4. On pressed. Drag out from the pin. Type, execute console command. Enter, restart level. This will restart the current level when the button is pressed. Compile and save. Now search for the 2D side-scroller character blueprint and move them to the character folder we created earlier. Now inside of the Void folder, create a new blueprint. This will be Actor. Name the blueprint Void. Open the blueprint and create a box collision. Select on component begin overlap. Drag out from other actor. Cast to 2D side scroller character. Drag out from the pin and select Set Game Pause. Check the box for True. Drag out from the pin and select Create widget. Select the Game Over widget we created earlier. Drag out from the blue pin and select Add to Viewport. This will be our Game Over function for when the player falls. Now head into the Ground folder. Create a new blueprint. Actor. Name this blueprint Ground Base. Create a cube. This will be our ground. Make sure collision is set to block all dynamic. Add a new component, arrow.
Drag the arrow just below the cube. Head to the Event graph. Drag out from the pin. Create a Spawn Actor from class. Select the void blueprint we just created. Drag a reference to the arrow. Select Get World Transform. Connect it to the orange pin. Create a delay of roughly 5 seconds. Then create a Destroy Actor node. This will make sure the endless platforms are destroyed and don't use up memory. Back into the void blueprint. Copy and paste the delay and destroy actor. This will make sure the void is destroyed and doesn't eat up memory. This red arrow is where the void will spawn. You can adjust the height later to fit your needs. Back into the void blueprint. Make the box collision much bigger. This will make sure the player collides and gets a game over when they fall. Now we will duplicate the ground base to create different platforms for the player to jump on. This is just an example of creating longer and shorter platforms. You can create as many variations as you want. Make sure that you increase the size on the correct axis. Code for self-destruction is already there, because we duplicated our base ground blueprint. Duplicate the ground again, to create another variation of a spawning platform. Now head into the 2D side-scroller character blueprint. Delete the Move Right node, and replace it with a Event Tick node. The scale value will determine how fast your character will automatically run. I am going to test this real quick with one of the ground blueprints we created to see if the character runs automatically correctly. I forgot. Set the world settings to side scroller game mode. The game over button works, but it needs to be anchored properly. Character runs too fast for testing, so I will reduce the scale value to 0.5. Remember to save frequently. I will just call this Level 1. As you can see, the character runs automatically. This is because of the event tick node. I will now add several arrow components. These will be the spawn points for the different ground blueprints we created earlier. Place the arrows directly in front of the character mesh. Now head into the event graph and create a new function. We will call this function spawn platform randomly. Drag out and select. Switch on int. Right-click and select random integer in range. We have 3 different spawn points, so select the minimum to 0 and the maximum to 2. Create 3 pins. These will determine which platform will randomly spawn. Drag out and select spawn actor from class. Select the ground blueprint we created earlier. Drag a reference to the first arrow. Then drag out and select Get World Transform. Hook this up to the orange pin.
Copy and paste. We are going to do the same thing for the different ground blueprints we created, but with different arrows. Now create a sequence node. We will use the second. Then, to call the function we just created, we will use a delay and test different delays until we get the perfect amount of randomly spawning platforms.
You can see, it will randomly spawn platforms, but it is not perfect. Keep playing around with the delays and position of the spawn arrows. This is the base for a very simple endless runner. You can customize this as much as you want now. Make sure to like and subscribe. Using these robot voices was very time consuming and annoying. I don't want to do it again, but if you really like it I might make another video with my actual annoying nasally voice.